please enjoy a short preview of this episode. The full episode is only available to supporters on Patreon. If you would like to support the show and gain access to these bonus episodes, you can find a link below to join the community on Patreon. We would really appreciate it if you would join us. Your support means more than you know. Thank you. Welcome to New American Mythos, where old stories are kindled like firelight, and we gather round to remember the tales that shaped us. Tonight we travel back to 9th century England, a time when the land was divided into small kingdoms, and the North Sea carried both trade and terror. From across those waters came the Danish raiders, armies of seafaring warriors who sailed in longships along the eastern coasts. Wherever they landed, monasteries were plundered, villages were burned, and kingdoms were forced to choose between submission and destruction. Along that exposed shoreline lay the kingdom of East Anglia, a land of farms, forests, and quiet Christian churches. Its king was a man named Edmund, remembered by his people as a just ruler and a faithful Christian, a king who cared for the poor and sought to guide his people in peace. But Edmund's name would endure in the memory of England, not because of the victories he won, but because of the choice he made when the Danish army came to his shores. The Danes' leader, a warlord called Hingwar, sent a message demanding submission. Edmund must surrender his treasure and rule beneath the Danish power, or face death. The story of what happened next was written down in the 10th century by the English monk Ælfric, drawing on an earlier account preserved by Abbo of Fleury. Through their words, the memory of Edmund's final stand was carried forward into the story of England. It is the story of a king who refused to betray his faith, even when the price was his life. And it is also the story of a strange and unforgettable wonder in the forest, when the people searching for the slain king discovered that his severed head had been guarded through the night by a wolf. Tonight we remember Saint Edmund of East Anglia, the king who would not bow. Long ago, when the kingdoms of the English still stood young and uncertain, there ruled in the eastern lands a king named Edmund, Lord of the East Angles. He was known among his people as a wise and honorable ruler, a man who governed not only with authority, but with humility before God. Though he bore the crown of a king, he did not exalt himself above his people. Instead, he remembered the teaching of Scripture, that a ruler must live among men as one of them, guiding rather than oppressing, serving rather than boasting. Edmund was generous to the poor and compassionate towards widows and the helpless. Many in his land said that he cared for them as a father cares for his children. He sought justice for those who had none to defend them, and restrained the violent who troubled the peace of the kingdom. Under his rule, the people of East Anglia lived quietly in the Christian faith. The king himself was steadfast in prayer and mindful of God's commandments, striving to rule in righteousness and mercy. Yet, the peace of England in those days was fragile. Across the cold seas to the north and the east lived fierce seafaring peoples, the Danes, whose longships were swift and whose warriors delighted in plunder. Often they came suddenly upon the shores of England, their sails appearing on the horizon like dark wings against the sky. Where they landed, smoke soon rose from burning villages, and frightened people fled into the fields and forests. In those troubled years, a great host of these raiders descended upon the land. Their leaders were two men of cruel reputation, Hingwar and Hubba, fierce captains who led the Danish armies with ruthless strength. With a fleet of ships, they first struck the northern kingdom of Northumbria, sweeping across it like a storm. Cities were destroyed, churches were plundered, many innocent people were slain.